All right. So, for the last year, I have done a deep dive into romance, and I've put a lot of videos up here on romance because last year, in October, I went to Women in Publishing's conference in North Carolina, and it was fabulous. Brilliant women, fabulous speakers, and really inspiring. Really helped me a lot to even like just post here. Um, so so one of the speakers is a romance author, and I met several others, and the way that they were talking about romance um, as a genre and what they value in romance really challenged my perspective. And so I was like, I mean, okay, I mean, I guess I will try and like see your perspective, and I will try and track this down. So it's been interesting, and we've talked about it. I don't like drama. I don't like gossip based miscommunication, like stupidity that threatens your relationship, because it's like, why were we here if it's that easy to break? I don't know. So so those are my general perspectives on romance, and I like when romance happens naturally, where two people are just going and they're pursuing their own ideas and they're pursuing their own goals, and they happen to discover that, hey, we're going in the same direction, and you're awesome, and this is what I value, and you go for it. So those are the things that I find more realistic, more interesting, more authentic in romance. But I there were a couple of novels that I read this year that I've been pondering, that just I was like, there's something about this that I can't put my finger on it. And the first one that started this journey was Once Upon a Boy Band by Jenny Proctor, and she was one of the speakers in the conference last year. It is a phenomenal book. Definitely pick it up. It's a cute, easy read, but it has some really nice depth to it. Unexpectedly, I genuinely, and this is 100% me and my perspective on romances, I didn't see the depth and the heart coming, and it was there. It is a closed door romance, so that's, you know, a good that is a good spectrum to know when you're looking into romance. I discovered it last year at the conference, and I'm really glad that I was introduced to that. So anyway, what I found fascinating about this one was, there was a miscommunication, there was some drama. However, you had both. I gotta show you this little girl decided that she was just gonna like come and join me, and she was very emphatic, and yes, she's looking at me mildly insulted. She is sitting on my pile of sweaters, which is why I am not wearing my green sweater, my posting green sweater. She is here. She's here, and she's focused. Oh my god, I'm ADHD. It's fine. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so there is some drama, there is miscommunication, there is like, oh god, will you just tell them that information? They really need to know that information. Don't do this. But what was interesting was, number one, when the drama dropped, they actually like valued each other enough to talk to each other. They also valued themselves enough to evaluate what they need and what they want, and whether or not that person is part of that. And I think that's really, really important in relationships in general. Like, I don't care what kind of relationship it is. It can be parents, it can be bosses, it can be coworkers, it can be friends. Knowing who you are and what you value and where you're going is essential for you to interact with other people well. That it just is. So, and it goes back to my idea of Evie and Rick and other couples like that, where they're going in a direction, they know what they want, they are pursuing it, and then they just happen to run into a person that they want to partner with as they go. And that's how you create that, is when you know yourself, you know your values, you know what you need, and you move forward and you communicate it with the people around you as clearly as you can. So when the drama hit in this particular book, that is how they handled it. And that is, for me, it is not stressful, because I, like, even though the situation is stressful, I feel like they're gonna be okay. They're gonna be okay, and they're being true to themselves and to each other, and that's important. The other thing that I didn't, because it was so emotionally mature, I didn't pick up on this other thing until the audiobook that I finished last night. In both of these books, the one that I finished last night, may I have my hand, baby? May I have my hand, please? Please? Okay. It is called Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. It is on my Libby app for my, I'm coming back, for my library. What's interesting about that one that hit me in the last 45 minutes of the book was that you have chapters solely from the guy's perspective, and then you have chapters solely from the girl's perspective. And what I loved about that was I actually got to see both sides. And it's the same thing in this one, where they both get screen time. You get to be inside their head. You get to see what they value about the other person. You get to see their actual values themselves. And then you get to see how they fit together. So another romance that I'm currently reading, I'm probably going to do a series on it, so I'm not going to really get into it, but there's another series I'm listening to right now, and it's solely from the girl's perspective, and that is so stressful. It's a great series, and I really like it, but it's more like real life, where you're like, God, you're giving me all these signs, but you're not saying anything, and I can't tell if we're friends or if you want something more, and it's stressful because you don't have access to the other person's thoughts. So when I leave that book, it might be a really good book. It's a really good mystery. I enjoy the characters. It's really fun. The reader is really good. All of those things are wonderful, but I still leave with a sense of, I don't know what's happening, which is what can happen in actual relationships, because you don't have access to the other person's brain, right? And even when they tell you something, if they're acting in a different way, or if they're acting in a certain way and they're saying something else, it can get confusing. And what I loved about these two books, and that the epiphany that I had yesterday, was that for me, being able to have all the information communicated in words that are clear, concise, and honest, and messy, because the characters are messy, I leave with a sense of security. I leave feeling loved. I feel like we're gonna work it out. It's fine. And because for me, this was the epiphany. Like, for me, I don't like drama. We've already talked about it. I don't like drama. I don't like miscommunications being the downfall or the beginning of a relationship. I want something true. I want something honest, and I want something that is intrinsic and authentic to each person. What I loved about these two books and their narrative structure was that, for me, as a person whose primary love language is words of affirmation, and secondary love language is quality time, that's what I get from these novels. I get all of the information spoken in words, so that I can be like, oh, okay, so even in this miscommunication that's happening, that's stressful, and I'm like, oh no, don't give up on yourselves, guys, I know how they feel. I actually get to see both sides, and it's calming for me. And so even in the when I've had to leave the middle of a chapter where it's like, they're in trouble and they're fighting, I don't leave anxious. I leave going, it's okay. We got this, guys. You can do this. And I feel like I get to spend time with each of them, and I get to like have a cup of tea and go, all right, Jackson, tell me how you feel. What's going on, buddy? And that is that's what those romance novels do for me. Is it specifically like it takes all of the stress and the drama out, even though there is drama that shows up in both of these books. It feels like it's a lot more grounded and realistic and mature because I get all the information. I get to see them working through it, and it's not it's not just a shiny, like, one-sided affair. Like, like, it feels real. It feels like these are people I'm actually talking to, that I get to watch fall in love and cheer them on. So that is apparently my brand of romance, is narrative telling from both sides. And I think it's just interesting because it's highlighted. I am also an artist. I do a lot of very detailed work, but I also do a lot of impressionistic work. So my detailed work is really cool, but you get closer, you get a lot more detail with more of my paintings. The further away you are, the more detail you get, the closer you are, and it's a mess. And so some people respond to my art differently because it's gonna hit them or not, and they're gonna feel it or not, and it's gonna be their style or not. And I love that books are the same way, that they have the power to make you feel loved and make you feel included in a community, and or stress you the F out because nobody's talking to anybody, including the reader, and I just can't do it. So anyway, a new epiphany from me about romance. I hope you enjoyed it. What do you think of romance? What kind of romances do you like? Do you have a narrative structure that works really well for you? Or have you not found one yet? I don't know. What kind of books do you like? Let me know, comment, and I'll see you next time.